That's gonna be all right.
School.
Oh, that's your time.
Okay. Government affairs class.
Oh, yeah, it's.
We have every year we have a bunch from the school that come visit us. So it's kind of a normal. We appreciate it. It's nice. It's nice that they still have a civics program where they want kids to actually come into class too. It is really nice.
That's my school,
Lancaster Catholic?
long time ago. What year?
Mine.
Okay, I'm way before that. But you can see my picture on the wall out there heading into the gym. Mhm.
Excellent. What's for?
Football. Good. They didn't have baseball. I would have wished they would have had baseball when I was there. We just had track. Just had track. Okay, the bell tolls. That's it.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the September the 5th meeting of the East Hempfield Township Board of Supervisors. Tonight's meeting was advertised to be held in person and on Zoom with login and call-in information posted on our website. The meeting will be conducted by the chairman, who will be assisted by an employee managing the Zoom site. Tonight's video and audio is being recorded and Robert's rules will apply. To offer comment, you must be recognized by the chairman. For meeting participants on Zoom, please use the chat function to be recognized. Text your name and address to the moderator. Your request to speak will then be passed on by staff to the chairman to be recognized. Once recognized by the chairman, unmute your microphone, and after speaking, please mute your microphone. East Hempfield Township's public comment rules will apply for all public comment. You must be a resident or business owner in the township to speak. You must identify yourself by name and address before speaking and sign the guest log for meeting minute purposes, or follow the chat procedure already discussed for Zoom attendance. Individual comment is limited to 3 minutes and must be about the agenda item being discussed, with the exception of public comment when non-agenda items can be addressed. No action will be taken on a non-agenda items of a non-emergency nature during the public comment period for non-agenda items. We will now move on to our first agenda item. Please join me for a moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance. The pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Our first agenda item for consideration this evening is our consent agenda. The consent agenda addresses the approval of routine and repetitive business matters that tend to need little or no review, discussion, or deliberation. Consent agenda items are provided to all board members for review in advance of our meeting. Is there any comment on the consent agenda from the board?
No.
Okay, nothing from here, nothing from the audience. Okay. Seeing none, I'll consider a motion to approve our consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Mr. Johnson, a second from Mr. Russell. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-1. Roger, are you out there?
Hold on, I might have to give him permission to speak. There we go.
I am out here. Yes,
Okay. You good with the consent agenda, buddy?
yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay, make that 4-1. Or 4-0, I'm sorry. Okay, moving on to our action items. We have a zoning ordinance and saldo amendments that was discussed at our last meeting and tabled because, well, was tabled to give Mr. Russell an opportunity to weigh in on the changes because he wasn't at the meeting. But so
I appreciate that. Since I was involved in the process, I have a pretty good understanding of the reasons why, and I'm supportive of this ordinance amendment.
as I think I am also, and
Yes, sir.
okay, and Mr. Johnson. Any comment, Roger?
No, supportive as well.
Sounds good. Okay. With that, I'll hear a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-03, which amends the zoning ordinance by adding permitted uses and amending accessory uses in the campus zone, corrects errors in the sign regulations table, revises screening and buffering regulations, and in the subdivision and land development ordinance amends design criteria for updated buffering. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Russell. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Johnson. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Gotcha, Roger. Okay. Motion passes 4-0. All right, next up is a special event request from the Hempfield High School, Mrs. Garber. Briefly.
So last year we had the first annual Hempfield High School Homecoming Parade. The parade went off with only a minor hitch, and that was that there was a significant fire call shortly after the parade began, and so all of our fire apparatus had to leave to go to the fire call. But outside of that, there were no issues, so they are hoping to do the parade again for the second year. It will be held on September 28th, Saturday, and will include several surrounding streets. It is staff recommendation that the board approve the Hempfield High School Student Council's application to utilize roadways as indicated in your packet and provide traffic control for their homecoming parade in Landisville on September 28th and permit the chair to sign the roadway indemnification form for the roadways specified in the application.
Thank you. Any comment from the board?
No.
I assume that the fire department just has a contingency plan this time around if they're called.
Same plan as last time. They got them out at the first intersection and they headed around and got to the barn fire fairly quickly.
Okay.
It was actually the best case scenario for the people who had the fire because everybody was already staffed and in the trucks, and so they got there a lot faster than normal.
Awesome.
Sounds like they did their first great job. Okay. All right. No real comment here from the audience, I wouldn't think. Okay, we're good. All right, with that, I'll hear a motion to approve the Hempfield High School Student Council's application to utilize and provide traffic control on the indicated roadways for their homecoming parade in Landisville on September 28th, 2024, and permit the chairman to sign the roadway indemnification form for the above roadways as specified in the application.
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Johnson. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mr. Russell or Roger, is that you?
Either way, I second, yes.
Okay. Second from Mr. Brubaker. Motion from Mr. Johnson, a second from Mr. Brubaker. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
The next special event application is for a 5K run walk held by Eastern Alliance Insurance Group to benefit Brighter Futures. Brighter Futures is the overarching organization for Kids Chance of PA, which provides college scholarships for Pennsylvania children. This is to be held on the Lancaster Recreation Junction Trail, which crosses Spooky Nook Road. The crossing will be staffed by a constable. And so you are simply giving them permission to utilize a constable to stop traffic at the Spooky Nook Trail crossing to ensure safety for the adults and children participating in this 5K run walk on the county's trail. The county has already given permission for this event to occur contingent on your willingness for them to provide traffic control at the crossing. So it would be staff's recommendation that the board approve Eastern Alliance Insurance Group's application to intermittently stop traffic on the Spooky Nook Trail crossing of Spooky Nook Road during the Brighter Futures 5K run walk on Saturday, November 9th for runner safety, and permit the chairman to sign the indemnification form for the same.
Okay, any comment from the board? Any comment from the audience? Okay, with that, I'll hear a motion to approve the Eastern Alliance Insurance Group's application to intermittently stop traffic at Spooky Nook Trail crossing during their Brighter Futures 5K run walk on Saturday, November the 9th, 2024 for runner safety, and permit the chairman to sign the indemnification agreement pertaining to the same. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Russell. Do I hear a second? Second from Mr. Bennett. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes 4-0. Okay, next up, we have old business. Excuse me. Do we have any old business?
No.
Okay. Hearing none, how about new business?
No.
None.
I guess the only thing I'd bring up here tonight is that we are considering a East Hempfield Township solicitation ordinance. I'd like to put that in the hopper under new business so that we can deal with it. Probably not at our next meeting, but down the road. We were given a lot of good information from the chief. I assume it's been recapped here. I see a couple of things on here that I've got a question about. So we'll take a couple of weeks, we'll put it on there for new business, take a couple of weeks to kick it around and then come back and perhaps adopt it in a month or so. Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
it's still in Public Safety Working Group at this point.
it is.
Correct.
Okay,
So once it's formalized by Public Safety Working Group, then it will come to the board. That is the working document within public safety, I believe, is what you have there.
okay. So I guess then at that point, we'll wait from a recommendation from public safety and then we'll move forward.
You have a timeline with what you're looking at?
I don't know when that next meeting is scheduled off the top of my head.
Okay. All right, well, thank you. Thanks for. All right. So with that, we'll move to public comment. Do you have any public comment this evening? Anything on Zoom?
No one has indicated a desire to speak. no.
Okay. All right, that being said, then there's no public comment this evening. We'll move to manager's report.
You have Cindy's report. I did add some updates that occurred after she left. We had a Centerville South meeting today. That project is moving forward well. They're only 20 some days behind the original completion date and have actually gained some days closer to the completion date. So they're hopeful that mild winter will allow them to continue to gain days and get closer to that completion date, but still sometime during September of 2025. Otherwise, you have some updates there. We did receive comments from PennDOT on the Route 72 and Lidditz Road temporary signals. Chris Bauer has responded to those comments, and we're hoping that soon we will have the HOP in place to be able to move forward with the temporary signals there. You can see out front, the bocce courts are well underway. The pavilion is completed construction and is awaiting electrical contractor and the placement of the picnic tables. We expect that by the end of the fall, that will be up and ready to go, so we'll be able to rent that out next season. We also did get notification last week that we got the Green Light Go grant for the upgrades to the traffic signals at Harrisburg Pike and Hemlock and Harrisburg Pike and Good Drive. So those signals have come off the system there that goes down into the city and will receive changes to the controllers and detection systems, the radar in those signals. That grant was a 20% match, so the project cost total is $308,025. I don't think there are any major updates to the stormwater projects other than the McFarland Basin. We have had 2 of the 3 businesses respond to the planning director's outreach. One of those businesses has mowed what they could of that basin. There's a portion that is too wet to be mowed at this time, and planning department continues to work with those businesses toward complete compliance with the maintenance there. So unless you have questions, I believe that covers it.
Well, it certainly looks like Centerville Road South is moving along.
Starting to
Well-
look like a nice wide roadway.
It really does. And Ekman's to be given a lot of credit for that, I'm sure. As the weatherman, should be getting a lot of good credit for that also. All right, any questions on the manager's report tonight?
For Noldor, is there, with the funding shortage that we have right now and the grant monies we're seeking, has there been any attempt to kind of tie it into the Greenway project to see if we can get some grant monies with that being a trailhead too, or like the parking part?
So there are multiple different grant processes in place. Currently, we submitted a high foundation grant last week. That grant would potentially cover all of the funding that is left to be covered.
Okay.
So at this point, that's the only grant that's actively in progress. But we do have DMA watching for any other grant options. And I know Charity has a couple that she's looking ahead to opening periods for. I'm just not certain which ones those are.
That's fine. We're looking, that's all that matters.
Yep, absolutely.
Mr. Johnson's using some of his perhaps influence, hopefully with.
He brought that grant to our attention, so we
Yeah.
were happy to apply
Awesome.
for it, and
That
we're
was awesome
hopeful that
he did.
And
they've already
and-
partially funded the Blue-Green Corridor project in that, on the Laxwama property there. So we're hopeful that perhaps they'll see this as an extension of what they've already supported.
Good, awesome, good. All right, with that, any other comment here tonight from the board and or the audience? Hearing none, we'll adjourn this meeting at 7:16.
That was, I think, the quickest meeting I've ever sat in 15 years.